A good but risky tactic against players who are very good at pushing short is to try to land the second bounce of your serve so it just bounces twice on the opponent's side. Timo's serve may be short or half long here, and Ma needs to risk putting his short push too high or trying to topspin a short serve. Good variation from Ma. He could just as easily have flicked that ball along to Timo's backhand with an identical starting position and just a small difference in stroke movement. Timo reacts a little late. He doesn't make it to the ball in time to play a strong shot. Just the way Ma likes to win points on his serve. Watch how he pivots just a little bit directly after the serve in order to cover the whole table with his forehand. But he is so quick to step in and loop over the table.
All in, straight in with that forehand topspin.
Ma deserved to win this point after a great backhand punch down the line. He looked to hesitate on his last forehand topspin and just reach at the ball with just his arm. He's usually so strong at using the rotation of his right hip and shoulder. Well done of Timo to manage to get Ma's punch back. Probably wasn't deliberate, but the shortness of Timo's backhand is likely to have caused Ma's hesitation, as it caused Ma to move forwards when he wasn't expecting to have to. Timo shows how effective it can be to serve heavy side spin topspin reverse against a right-hander who likes to push short. Looked like Timo lifted his upper body on the forehand topspin instead of moving forwards, which caused the ball to go long. Boll opts for heavy topspin again to stop Ma pushing short. Ma realises he's in a bit of trouble on the return and very skillfully managed to take all the pace off the ball and drop it half long. The lack of pace on Ma's push makes the ball drop almost vertically downwards as it goes half long, and that makes it more difficult for Timo to generate maximum topspin. We can see that Timo just lifts his shot. Ma is fortunate to get a net here, but he's played a better point than first meets the eye. Incredibly good return from Timo. He would not have seen Ma's ball contact on the serve, but manages to get his short push low with heavy backspin. Timo's margin for error is so small on this shot, and he must contact the ball perfectly. Very short to the forehand is one area of weakness for Ma, but it's hard to exploit. Fantastic anticipation of Boll to pick that Ma would go for the side spin serve after Boll returned his last serve so well. Timo gets his side spin flick in, which is an effective tactic against Ma. Ma uses his side spin return off Timo's serve effectively again. Timo's too late for the short ball and pops it high in the air.
Quite pleased it's going a fair way off the side of the table.
Technically, this was an excellent point. Timo's serve goes half long and Ma pounces. He really uses his whole body, his feet, hips, shoulder, arm and wrist. He flicks his wrist over the top of the ball on contact to keep his shot low and spinny. Ma is relentless in his top spins. Notice how his arm gets straighter the more time he has. Having a straighter arm allows you to generate more speed on the topspin. Notice in Timo's defensive game that he's always striving to hit the ball out in front of his body. He manages to keep himself in the rally for 4 or 5 quality shots from Ma, and over time he'll pick up more points than he otherwise would have because he's able to do this. Ma goes for the heavy backspin serve in an attempt to keep mixing the play up. Both players are using wide angles to get the opponent out of position. To me, it looks like Ma's legs are slower than they were a couple of years back, and that he's not recovering as well as he used to. Ma throws the ball straight back towards himself and behind his head and shoulder. Timo doesn't step in far enough and has to play the short push attempt too far away from his body. He's only able to snatch at the ball and loses control in the process. Amazing play from Boll. Watch how stable his upper body is after recovering from the wide forehand topspin and then moving to the backhand counterspin. At no point does he over-rotate to the side, and his upper body is facing towards the table at all times. His balance stays good, and he doesn't need to take his eyes off the ball for a millisecond.
That's a clever backhand topspin.
Tactical play from Timo, and he shows that placement can be just as effective as brute force. He goes for heavy backspin on his reverse, and Ma is tentative. Ma puts the opponent under so much pressure to play perfect returns, as Timo knows that Ma will kill the loose returns.
Outstanding forehand topspin that he has.
Great saves from Boll, but this should have been Ma's point. Ma looks tense, which makes playing the ball down the line difficult, and he gets stuck playing cross-court several shots in a row. Ma has served his last few serves all with heavy backspin, and it looks as though Timo has finally adjusted to it. Boll is constantly varying his service placement and spin. Timo comes around the side and over the top of the ball on contact to generate maximum spin on his topspin. Excellent service variation again, and Ma is really struggling to control his returns. Timo would be devastated to miss such an easy shot at such an important time in the match. Matches are almost always won with just 1 or 2 points either way at some stage of the match. You usually just can't get away with giving away cheap points like this. It looks like Ma throws in a no-spin serve and Timo plays an excellent short return. Good play from both players. See how Ma is almost waiting over the table after his serve. This means he can quickly step in for the short ball, but requires amazing strength, speed and explosiveness to be able to cover any long returns as well. It looked like Ma's first short push back was a little high and a little long, and Timo could probably have attacked. Instead he goes for the short return, which pops up too high, and Ma is able to attack. What a serve to be able to pull out at 10-all. Wide, low and spinny. Ma is forced to just guide the return, and Timo gets the all-important first topspin. His backhand topspin wasn't perfect. It sat up high and was straight down the middle of the table, but it was good enough this time.
Good topspin from Timo Boll. If anything, Marlin just let the ball drop a little too low. And so Boll now with his second game point. And a little bit of good fortune. The net cord, the ball trickles over. Boll acknowledges his good fortune. but he wins the third game 12-10. And the story of this semi-final so far on screen, Timo Boll leads by.
The third set was an example of tactical play from both players. Both tried to lock each other up with many short returns. Timo played an unusually large percentage of short returns, attempting to get 8 of his 11 returns for the set going short. It's rare to see Timo attempting to push short so much, as he is one of the best ralliers and counter topspinners in the world and doesn't mind the open topspin play. The stats suggest that Timo tried as hard as he could to keep the play out wide and not down the middle of the table. You can see this in his return of serve statistics. The difference in the end came down to Timo's ability to vary the spin and placement of his serve, which drew weaker returns from Ma and allowed Timo to attack strongly. Timo managed to get his serves short but fast, extremely effective but difficult to do, especially under pressure. These short, fast serves caused Ma all sorts of problems in his returning game. In many ways, Ma was the total opposite to Timo in the third set. He did every one of his serves short to the middle of the table, aiming to cut down on Timo's ability to play the ball wide. Ma did 6 half-long returns for the set, which I think is a reflection that he struggled with Timo's serve throughout. That's not to take anything away from Timo, who served brilliantly from start to finish. The player who got the first attack in continued to do well in the third set. Timo won 6 of the 8 points he attacked first, with Ma winning 4 from his 6. Timo's short pushing against Ma's serve gave a clear advantage, and Timo was able to restrict the amount of topspin winners Ma could hit. You'd not find many sets where Ma Lin only wins 4 points for the whole set with his topspins. This is generally the case when Timo plays the Chinese. He needs his return of serve game to be working extremely well to have a good chance of winning.